Hello, my name is Rachel, and I'm a Girl Scout from Northeast Texas, and this is my project. It's Charge into Action, Charge Syndrome Awareness. And this is little Zion. He's 9 months old, and he's the inspiration for this video. Hi.
Colobomas are defects in the eyelid or iris of the eye. Heart defects can involve a hole in the heart to abnormal great vessels in the heart. Anal atresia is basically a failure of the nasal passages to open when the fetus is forming in utero. Retardation usually relates to growth and development. It can be mental retardation or physical developmental retardation. And the ear anomalies usually involve the external ear, but can also involve the inner ear, and often are associated with hearing loss.
We noticed 7 months prenatal, we went to get an ultrasound done as a surprise and just to find out the sex of the baby, and they noticed a difference in the brain, and so they sent us to a specialist, and he told us he wasn't sure what was wrong, but definitely something was there, probably Dandy Walker in the brain. And then when he was born, we found out it was Charge.
The first time that I actually knew that Charge syndrome was for sure a syndrome was about 4 years ago when I was dinking around on the computer and I found some information on Charge syndrome and realized that there had actually been a connection between a genetic disorder or chromosomal disorder and that Charge syndrome was actually in fact a syndrome. That particular day was like Christmas for me because I really hadn't known for sure why Chris had been born with the anomalies he was born with.
My greatest challenge has been making friends and having relationships. I have 3 really good friends. Most want to help me, but not really include me. My best relationships are with my Christians in my church college group. Others, mostly in school, are school acquaintances. One big reason why I don't have a lot of friends that I would like is because people don't realize that I'm as capable mentally and physically, and they think they are afraid of not knowing what to do in case of an emergency or something were to happen to me.
Well, in our case, Christian has a profound hearing loss bilaterally, so in both ears, and he does have a cochlear implant in his left ear, but even though it works, he doesn't use it as a way to communicate. He doesn't really alert to environmental sounds much at all, and he doesn't use it for receptive speech, so he's not really paying attention to what other people say. So when we considered placement, we first were interested in the School for the Deaf, and quickly decided that really wasn't the best placement for Christian because they modified for the deaf, but they weren't able to really modify for Christian's other needs. So we chose a self-contained classroom, which was better for us because the teachers are used to seeing kids with multiple needs, different types of needs, and are able to modify much more quickly. In his class there's also an interpreter, which was really important in our case because Christian had a lot of sign whenever he went into school. They should still be given the opportunity to do the academics at the level that they're capable of doing with modifications in place and the correct support system so that they're able to reach their goals.
I think he's so strong, and that's what's helped me the most, because when I want to give up, then I don't, because he keeps going and going, and I complain more than he does. He's just so strong, and that gets me from day to day.
I am 26 years old. Now I'm a junior at Sam Houston. Go Bearcats. Like I said, I go to Sam and I'm majoring in technical theater, which would technically be the backstage crew and doing all the lights and the sounds for plays and stuff. And I can also sign in both American Sign Language and English, both totally different.
As I mentioned, in the case of hearing loss, early diagnosis is critical for early intervention. Early intervention is critical for providing appropriate therapy, treatments that a child might need. In general, in CHARGE syndrome, a diagnosis might be made of hearing loss or a congenital heart defect because the baby's color wasn't good, but they might not pick up the fact that the child also has a visual impairment until the child is much older. So the sooner you diagnose the syndrome, the sooner you can anticipate these other problems. And I think there are people that have been diagnosed with CHARGE syndrome that were not diagnosed until they were much older. And had they been diagnosed at a younger age, they would have benefited from earlier interventions, such as corrective lenses or hearing aids.
Ultimately, they should know that even though he has all these problems, he's a little guy, and he's our little guy, and we love him, and he's taught us so much. And
He's got his own little personality, even though, with Zion, even though he looks like he wouldn't, in a way, have the IQ that a normal baby would have. He learns and he develops, not as quickly, but he's still so smart and he can figure stuff out on his own that I think, oh my goodness, he just figured that out all by himself. And that's something that I would say, about CHARGE, that people need to know. They're not all.
he's a very strong kid. He's an incredible teacher.